Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Okay, I'm going to just talk a little bit about what I do with the ebook scavenger hunt because I feel like it's a little bit important. So first things first, when I log into Destiny, I show the students that I always go to Destiny back office, and I show them how they can locate the number of ebooks that we have in our collection. So let me log in again. And when this happens, because I did log in earlier, I just let them know sometimes you have to make sure that you're logged in and log in a second time. It's not a problem, but sometimes you have to do it. Excuse me. So I go right here to catalog, and I show them that from the catalog area, I can change this area where it says material type and always highlight it. And then I change it to ebook, and I stress to the students that they should not change anything else, and that they always have to make sure that it's on ebook when they're doing the ebook scavenger hunt, because sometimes it reverts back to the original area. So now it's in ebook, and now all I'm going to do is I have my mouse in this area, and I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and it's going to show me how many ebooks we have in our school collection. So then I ask the students, who can tell me how many ebooks we have in our collection? Some students say 21, some students say 25. And some students see this right here, this area, and sometimes I make it bigger. And they'll say 523, and I'll say, yes, we have 523 ebooks, okay? So then I go over with them a few things, and I try and keep it to 7 minutes or less. So I just show them quickly how they can click the open button to go to the ebook. They wait patiently for it to load, and I stress sometimes you have to make sure that you're in Chrome as opposed to Explorer. And actually, I've had a few people where the book works better in Explorer, but that's another story. So just mention that to them. And I show them, okay, you have these options. I'm going to click this one. Let's see what happens.
3D Pen Projects for Beginners by Tammy.
And then I just click through and I show them a few things.
Drawing with pen and paper is fun, but if you want to amp up art, a 3D...
I show them the pause area. I click these, and I only click actually this one, autoplay, just so they can get a sense that it'll play automatically as opposed to them going through it themselves. And then I also just click right here so they can see, and sometimes it works, and notice it's not working right now. The space right here is supposed to give me my little options, but it's not doing it. So then I say, okay, sometimes when you click here, you'll get other options, and sometimes you just have to click other areas, but you're going to explore during this ebook scavenger hunt. So, and they actually like when you make a mistake, so I guess it was fine that it didn't pop up for me. And then the last thing I do is I make sure I go back, and I show them that a lot of times the ebooks have this symbol that says E, but also, say right here, there's an area where it says unlimited copies. So what does that mean? And they, talk about that. We talk about the fact that some books have unlimited copies. So now what I want to do is go to my lesson and actually go to the worksheet and show a few things. So right here, you always want to pick ebooks that are in your collection, of course. And then notice that question number 4, by them doing the modeling with me, they now have the answer. So they put the answer right there. And that's a good way to see who's paying attention, etc. And then it's great because then, everyone has an answer completed. And I might do one other, I can't remember which one I do, but I think I do one of these other ones, depending upon the class. The other thing is I noticed that this year, when I let the students, and I can't remember something occurred to where we had shortened time. I don't know if we had an early release or something, but I let the students work with a partner. And actually, some tables, there were 3 students to a table, so they worked as a trio. And to be honest, it was a class where the students weren't as enthusiastic with reading. So by having them work with a partner or 2 other people and working as a group, they were able to get the answers, and I felt as though that was really good for the lesson. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the lesson. There's different ways to do it. Some classes, working individually is great. Even giving the option, I think there was one class where they were able to work with the people at their table, and one student at the table said, well, hey, I just want to work on my own, and he worked on his own. So option and choice are big. The last thing that I need to mention is, and I put it here in the instructions, or not the instructions, but just the notes, the fact that a lot of times, or sometimes with the lesson, what I do is I let the students have breaks where, like, maybe 5 or 7 minutes into the lesson, we pause and I'll say, okay, is there an issue with something? And they might say, oh, they're frustrated with this or frustrated with that. Some classes they're fine and we just keep it going, and some they might need an extra push. And so that's what you see in the evidence part that I put on the website or the Google site. The information for this student right here, he was a little frustrated in the beginning, but he got it. He was really proud of himself. So it's just a great way for the students to see the ebooks that they have, or that we have in the collection, and to go from there. If you get a chance, listen to Ms. Haynes, and she'll talk a little bit about the lesson. And that's it. Thank you very much.